Let's talk outcome-based thinking. Outcome-based thinking is a key high-performance habit of top performers for sure. Now let's really look. As always, I'm committed that you discover something in this conversation about your own leadership and where you can apply this in your day-to-day business and obviously interactions with others. Outcome-based thinking is just what it says. It's thinking based on an outcome. Now that's not how we traditionally think. By default, we actually think more process-based. Process is the opposite of outcome. Process is more, what do we need to do to get to where we want to go? Outcome doesn't look at the process first. Outcome-based thinking has you locate yourself in the outcome completed and then almost look backwards and then decide your path forwards. So let's break that down a little bit more. Process-based thinking has its place, don't get me wrong. And many people and organizations are paid and actually have gone to school and are experts in implementing processes. So I'm not saying throw those out. I'm just saying as a leader and as a high performer, you also need to practice the skill of thinking from an outcome. So in other words, when we get into outcome-based thinking, we are putting ourselves in the future. We're thinking more about maybe the long-term picture of the future. For some of you, that may be 5 years or even longer. For some, it's 3 years. For some, it's 2 years. Whatever's right for your business. But you're thinking about the big outcomes. Where do you want to be in the market? How is your company going to be perceived? What's your revenue and profit goals? What customers are you servicing? How do you transition your products or services? How are you evolving? Where's your competition at? So in other words, there's the large outcomes, and then you can bring outcomes all the way down to day to day. What's my outcome out of this next phone call I'm on, this next Zoom meeting, this next team meeting? I promise you, thinking from the outcome is so critical. And you can apply it to everything, quite frankly, in your life. Definitely what's in your calendar, okay? I'll just share with you, there's very rarely anything I participate on without me doing some internal work and saying, what's the outcome that I'm committed to producing here? So, earlier today I was on a team call with one of the teams I coach. And at first I was unclear why I'm on this call. I was invited by the CEO to be on the call. So I know I'm part of the team, but that's not sufficient for me. Do you see? I don't want to just show up. I want to be clear. How am I going to participate? What's the overall outcome of the meeting? What is it that we're out to accomplish together? Okay, I need some sense of that. So I'm there. Otherwise, I'm not in high performance. I'm just like watching something, and I'm not going to be an observer. There is no observer in high performance. But I got clear about the outcome, and I got clear we're looking at a business model, and I got clear that out of that 60-minute call with those exact people on the call, we wanted to reach a certain milestone in the call where people had some agreement around a certain direction of branding. But I did that by getting in communication with my CEO, with the partner, and asking some questions and just being able then to contribute to the conversation appropriately. Why am I telling you that story? I want to encourage you to always be thinking as a high-performance leader, what outcome am I committed to? You sit down for a one-on-one conversation. What's the outcome that you're creating before you get into that conversation? Are you seeking partnership? Are you seeking to discipline somebody? Are you looking to correct behavior? Are you looking to integrate someone into the team? Are you looking to understand somebody's point of view? Every conversation should have an outcome. Okay, there's very few, on Sunday, put up your feet and watch football. Seriously. Everything else in high performance is surgical and can be that way. I'm not saying that you might not have an outcome just to have fun with your team. You could have that outcome, but again, you're clear about that is the reason for that event or that situation. All right, so here's the practice, everyone. I want you to just think about this conversation as you go through your leadership today. What are the outcomes you're committed to? What's in your calendar now that you can start to create some outcomes for in advance of showing up? How are you to participate? How do you want the team to walk out of those meetings or those occasions? And then you can look longer term. What's the outcome of the year? What's the outcome of the quarter? What's the outcome of the month? What's the outcome of the week? You could take it out further. What's our outcome or your, this is where you get into your vision, but it can really be stated for yourself in your head as an outcome. Within 5 years, we are producing X. We are known as, and you're working backwards with this kind of thinking. It will help you strategically think. It will definitely help you prioritize moving forward. And it will also give you a lot of power as a leader to be able to keep people on track, because you're on track to a specific outcome. You're not just, going through the meetings and going through the motions day to day, week to week, hoping you end up getting somewhere that's desirable. You want to actually create that future first and create it as an outcome, and then have that shape your leadership day to day. The practice today is look for where you could come from outcomes. And if you're just showing up, stop and ask yourself, what's the outcome I'm committed to here?